rich, dense, dark, complex. And no, I'm not talking about my beard. Laudano Nero. Just the way I like them. YouTube fragrance family, welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm putting my nose on the house of Tiziana Terenzi and their scent called Laudano Nero. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of the fragrance review, I want to thank my partner, FragranceX.com, for this fragrance. You can utilize my code ROBES08 and you get 15% off on any fragrance on the website. Link is down below in the description. So now let's take a look under the hood of Laudano Nero. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. But let's take a look at a little bit of its stats. It hit the shelves back in 2014, bottle size. What you see here is what you're going to get. The 3.4 ounce bottle. Concentration, it's an extrait de parfum. Pricing, retail, USD, you're looking at approximately $165. You can take a look at discounters. They may have it for a little less. Now let's take a look at the group. It is a woody oriental fragrance in that family. The one thing about this particular fragrance that I felt was underappreciated in a lot of reviews is the heavy woods in this fragrance. It is really a lot of the backbone in this particular fragrance. Of course, the resins too. It's very resinous. Labdanum is going to be your centerpiece to this fragrance. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown. The note breakdown of this particular fragrance, it's peppered with notes. So let's take a look at that. And a lot of great notes and a lot of darker notes. So up top we have amber, tobacco, rosemary, myrtle, cognac, and wormwood. In the mid we have sandalwood, iris, slate, ash, rosemary, cedar, red rose, and black locust honey. In the base we have oud, labdanum, camphor, vanilla, oak, incense, laurels, musk, vetiver, and cashmere musk. So that is a note breakdown that is huge. It's huge. Major notes to this nose right here. You're going to get a lot of the resins. You're going to get a lot of that amber in here, cedarwood, that oak. The labdanum, we could say, is your centerpiece in this particular fragrance. And the incense, you're going to get a lot of smoke out of this one too. There is a lot. In this note breakdown, there's a lot. And in this fragrance, you get a lot. You get your money's worth as far as the note breakdown goes because you're going to get a lot. Your nose is going to get really rampaged with notes. The nose behind this particular fragrance is Paolo Terenzi. He is the in-house nose for this brand. He is truly bringing up his portfolio recently. He is dabbling with other brands too, Vicanto, Semimi, among others. Now, how many sprays and wear did I put with this fragrance? Light on the trigger is better. Sometimes I put more, sometimes I put less, but I felt like the one on the chest, two on the neck, one on each side works well with me. Sometimes in these heavy Canadian winters, I'll hit in the back. So 4 sprays at most. Again, that's a lot for this fragrance. I know a lot of people that love this fragrance know that that is a lot of sprays. It's an extrait. But at the same time, I felt like these heavy Canadian winters, you just hit up your neck. If it's too much for you, instead of hitting the neck, hit the arms. So instead of those 2 sprays, one on the chest, one on each arm, and you're good to go. I felt like that was the best time or the best way of wearing this fragrance. So, Tiziana Terenzi as a brand, it's a family-owned Italian fragrance brand. Tiziana designs and Paolo is actually the nose behind it. They're known for their high-end candles rather than their fragrances, actually. I believe their family's in their 3rd or 4th generation. I believe it's 3rd generation of creating candles. They finally recently expanded more into fragrances. And their portfolio is actually very much growing at a great rate. They're doing very well. On to Laudano Nero. and the scents. Before I get into that, on a side note, they do have this scent in candle form. So if you love it that much, you can wear it on yourself and you can make your house smell like it too. Now let's delve into the scent itself. I'm going to remind me of this introduction here. I'm just going to spray the back of my hand once and maybe twice, double hit it. For this introduction, I have the dry down on my arm right now. The one thing about this particular fragrance is she's artsy, she's dark, and really just up my wheelhouse. If you have the same taste as me, you know, you love your dark scents, you like your boozy scents, but you have such a huge palette like I do. I love woods, I love spices, I love resins. Basically anything under the sun, if it's well done, I love it. And this is the type of fragrance that pulls a lot from a lot of different fragrances. I am going to name drop like a madman in this fragrance review just because this fragrance pulls a lot from a lot of fragrances. So upon application, Laudano Nero starts off with a lot of facets. And that's the way I like my fragrances. Almost like, where do I start by explaining this fragrance? This complexity is the name of the game when speaking about this scent. It's dark, it's rich, it's dense, it's boozy, it's intense, it's dry. It's got some camphorous aspects. It's smoky, ambery, resinous, green, woody, among others. I can keep going and going. This scent is truly based on the note of labdanum. To my nose. Labdanum, of course, a very dark note, scent profile, very rich, deep, leathery aspects to the note, ambery aspects, very resinous tones. Very well done in this particular fragrance. It is showing those resinous tones. It is showing that deep, leathery tone that I want to get from labdanum. Labdanum kind of gives me the color of rust, like a really orange, but like a used orange a little bit. So that's why I kind of think of rust when I'm thinking of labdanum. Slightly used orange color that has some personality into it. On top of the labdanum, like sitting right on top of it, is what your nose is going to gravitate to in this opening, is the boozy aspects of this fragrance. You really can't miss them. The boozy aspects jumps out to my nose. Very syrupy, cognac-like note. Not as good as established cognac note, or as strong or as central in the fragrance. It's just a part of this particular fragrance. It's not a huge factor. Upon the opening, yes, it's a huge factor. You can't miss it. But there's more to this fragrance than that. Yeah. But the ones that do enjoy boozy tones in their fragrances, they're going to enjoy this boozy tone. It really is very, very well done. Some compare this scent, and it is compared highly to one of my favorite fragrances of all time, Black Afgano. Yes, it pulls a lot of the darkness from Black Afgano, the greenness of Black Afgano, and the blackness of Black Afgano. Very dark green feel to that fragrance. Same here. Some people compare this fragrance to Création E from Roja Dove, and they do have some aspects of both those particular fragrances in here, adding a little bit of Amber Absolute, among others. Talking about Amber Absolute, this fragrance also has a resinous ambery tone that does take center stage more in the midpoint with some honeyed sweetness, with of course some herbal undertones. The herbal tones in this particular fragrance, very much, I wouldn't say a central theme, but a very strong secondary note throughout the fragrance. You get a touch of the laurels, the myrtle, and the rosemary. Very herbal notes in this fragrance, and they give that certain aspect to the fragrance, not being too dark, but it shows some greenness to the fragrance too, which I absolutely love. Now more into the heart and the dry down of Laudano Nero. It shows more smoky qualities here, adding to the labdanum base. This is from the incense and the resins. They continue to push here. The scent kind of transitions a little bit more from the opening to the heart. The transition, by the way, flawless. You start losing those boozy qualities. They're very thin boozy qualities too. Most fragrances, they don't last. They're in the opening and that's it, they die off. This fragrance, same thing. You're going to continue to get the resinous feel. You're going to get a lot more woods in the dry down, but you do get some in the opening too. resins, of course. You're going to get some greenness from, of course, the absinthe, the wormwood. You're going to get, of course, those herbal qualities. You're also going to get some mild powdery tones here from the iris. But the major headliner from the heart to the end of this fragrance is the dry cedarwood and the oak. It's so good that you could almost smell the peeling bark off the trees. There's some wormwood here too that reminds me of the use of wormwood in Memoir Man. It also has some tobacco in here. That pushes through more into the heart, into the dry down of the fragrance. You really do feel, like I said in the opening, you do feel some herbal qualities. The laurels come through here more into the deeper dry down, giving its familiar bay leaf herbal quality with a slightly spicy take. This fragrance right here is so complex, yet linear at the same time, but the transitions are absolutely gorgeous. And like I said earlier in the fragrance review, you got the same nose as me, and you like fragrances that I've named off already. Memoir Man, Creation E, Established Cognac, Black Afghano, and I'm going to name off some more. This fragrance pulls a lot from other fragrances and a lot of dark fragrances. So it's a very dark, complex scent, but it doesn't move much, but I absolutely love it. So let's get into the revolver. Let's take a look at the recommended age. The recommended age for this one, I think this is the darker stuff, right? The big boy pants type of fragrance. I would have to go 25 and up, just because of pricing, obviously, and the darkness of the scent. I don't see anybody any younger than that. I really feel like my age point, like 30 and up, I think you guys would absolutely love this. If you got the same taste as me, Seasons. This is a darker scent. You're looking fall, but mostly winter. It's the darker type of juice here. Day or night, nighttime wear. Work appropriate? No. Signature scent worthy? I really can't see it. I think this is one of those that is a piece that you would wear from time to time. Talking about best time to wear this fragrance, I would have to say night out. Evening, of course. Casually, you can dress it up, but I really like this one to go with, you're going to the bar, or you're going to go play pool, you're going to the movies or something like that. I just feel like this is the kind of scent that would do very, very well at night out. Now, my final thoughts on Laudano Nero is, overall, this is a resinous, oriental, smoky, woody, spicy scent, which is simply outstanding. It reminds me a little bit of Sahara Noir from Tom Ford. It's unique, yet pulls from many other scents. Sahara Noir is one that I haven't reviewed yet, but I really felt like Sahara Noir pulled from a lot of Tom Ford fragrances, and this kind of does that same type of trick. It pulls from a lot of other scents. It goes from, you can talk about Wazamba from Parfum d'Empire, to Black Afghano, to Memoir Man, to Amber Absolute, to Idole by Lubin. You can even throw in Tobacco Vanille if you want, Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford. The list goes on and on. And the thing is all of these fragrances that I named off, to me, these are scores from 8 to 10. These aren't, little crappy fragrances that are rated 3 and 4s on my channel. These are fragrances that I absolutely love, and it pulls a lot from some great, great scents. Now, that could be its downfall, because it pulls from a lot of fragrances. You're going to be like, I own like 4 or 5 of these. Why even try this? This could replace those, depending. But it does remind me very, very closely of something Gualtieri would do for his Nasomato brand or his Orto Parisi brand. The darker sense, of course, of those brands. This one would fit right in with a Nasomato. If you dislike incense, or you dislike any real woody fragrances, some resinous fragrances, this one would be probably one that you'd be like, I'm not going to try that. This is my first taste of this brand, and I'm very, very impressed. So guess what? I'm on my search for my second bottle of this brand, because this one knocked it right out of the park. Now let's take a look at the rating system. As you can see, projection, 9 bottles out of 10. Very good. I didn't feel like it was beast mode on my skin. It really does project quite a bit in the first few hours, but it does tone down quite a bit, but still pushes really well. with the obvious score of 9. Longevity, another 9 right here. Very, very good on my skin. 7 to 10 hours easily on my skin. Every time I wore this fragrance, it did not disappoint. It was going into my 7 to 9 hour mark easily. It was in there. Compliment factor, actually a lot higher than I thought it was going to be, because some of these scents are a little rough around the edges, but this one got a 7 bottles out of 10. Actually, people did enjoy this fragrance, not as much as others, obviously not up in the 8, 9, 10 scale, but 7 is decent for a compliment factor. That goes to uniqueness. It pulls from a lot of fragrances, yes, but is it ever in this mishmash? No. This fragrance does some very unique things together. It pulls a lot from a lot of things like boozy, green, incense, woods. A lot of my favorite notes put into one particular fragrance. I would have to give it 8 bottles out of 10. Fairly unique blend here. Pricing versus what you're gonna get. If you got the same taste as me, you're gonna be very happy with this purchase. That is a 9 bottles out of 10. That goes to versatility. This is where this one takes a little bit of a hit. Not that I have a hard time wearing fragrances, but this one's gonna get 5 bottles out of 10 just because, again, I'm not gonna wear this in the summer. Spring, maybe a cool spring night, it would work. Fall, of course. Winter too, of course. But I do have a hard time wearing it. Can't really wear it at work. This thing pushes way too much. That goes to smell. 9 bottles out of 10. Very solid scent overall. And that goes to an overall score to Laudano Nero, my first full-fledged review on the house of Tiziana Terenzi. You get a 9 bottles out of 10. So close to being a 10. I was so close to give it out of 10, but a very, very respectable 9 out of 10 on my rating scale. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. The only reason I'm giving this a try is because it pulls from many other scents. You may feel like this is not something that will stand out for you, but overall, I'm very pleased with this purchase, and it is going to be in my rotation. So a very, very solid purchase. Again, thank you so much for watching my review on Laudano Nero. I'd love to hear your take on this one in the comments below if you have smelt it. Also, I'd love to hear from the fragrance community their favorite release from this house, because this is the only one I've smelt. I'm very happy with the purchase, and I'm looking at a couple of them, and I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. Put as much detail as you can. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And that bell is waiting to be rung. Are you part of my notification gang yet? If you haven't already checked me out, I am on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I am on Facebook. All links are down below. I also have a Facebook group where it's called Fragrance Guru Nation. There's 14,500 members right now on that site, and we're discussing fragrances, so come join us today. Now I'm going to leave you with a few takes on my social media from a lot of people from my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Facebook that gave their thoughts on this fragrance. So something different, not just from me. I certainly appreciate everyone that does comment when I post those. Much appreciated. Merci beaucoup. And as always, a greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching.